All right, what's up? Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we are back with vlog number 2, Behind the Whistle. And in today's vlog, we had our first scrimmage, well, our preseason scrimmage this week, and went fairly well actually. We scored 5 times, our opponent scored 3, and we definitely made more mistakes in terms of penalties and whatnot than they did. So there's a lot of positive to take out of it overall, a lot of stuff to fix. Going into the scrimmage, this was also the team that we were going to open up with a week from, well, next Friday, this coming Friday. And yesterday when we went to watch film with the kids and break down right before we met them, we got notification that one of their coaches had tested positive for COVID. So that game is now off. We're trying to fill it with another team. The good thing is, as coaches Arizona, we are social distancing as much as possible from our players, and we are coaching the entire practice with a mask. At the scrimmage, the teams did not shake hands. We did not get in close contact with the other coaches. Even at the end of the game, we basically both went out to the hash marks about 20 yards apart, kind of gave each other a salute, thank you, and went on our way. So there was no close interaction there. The risk, and it's very minimal, is secondary contact for the kids on the field through the other team's players. Now, if their coaches had been practicing the guidelines, and we know that staff, good guys, there's no reason to think they were not practicing the guidelines and been careful. So in that case, the risk of one of their players being infected is very minimal, and the risk of one of their players getting our players infected is even more minuscule. So very, very limited risk due to secondary contact, but that team still has to quarantine. I actually went and got a COVID test this morning. I'm going to get another one in 3 days to cover the entire incubation period, just to make sure everything is copacetic, because we have family members that we need to keep safe, as most families do. So I don't want to dwell too much on that, but just mention that that was kind of the bummer of this whole, or the negative of this whole scrimmage. But it is what it is. It's times we live in. I'm confident that we're doing our jobs and our players are doing their jobs in staying safe. We brought buckets to the scrimmage and masks. When the players were not on the field, they were wearing masks. They had buckets that had hand sanitizer in it, so after every series they came off the field, they sanitized their hands and arms. So again, I'm highly confident it's not going to impact our team. We've been very cautious with this, but the shitty part is we don't have a game next Friday, so we're looking to get that fixed. But regardless, so onto the scrimmage. We basically set this up. We had a script, and you'll see in a couple of these clips down and distance situations where in a game we would have done something different. But we had a script. We pretty much stuck to it. Even the defensive front they brought out against us in the scrimmage, they played a double eagle front, which to break it down in layman's terms, it's an odd front, which means 5 linemen. Nose guard is covered, and then the double eagle look means they have their defensive tackles on the outside shoulders of our guards, so that would be a 3 technique if you're looking for terminology. And then they have defensive ends outside the tight end in a 9 technique. 3 linebackers, single high safety, and 2 corners aligned roughly 2 yards outside, 4 or 5 yards deep, as extra leverage players, which means responsible for turning play flow back inside. So they stayed in that most of the scrimmage. They occasionally hopped into an even front, a 4-4 look, but it was mostly the 5-3 double eagle. And the plays we had scripted, again, we only ran 4 running plays and 3 pass plays, less than half of our total playbook. And we didn't run our core plays, which in the double wing offense is the power and the counter, are the 2 main money plays. They both hit inside. Our reasoning for that is we wanted to focus our run game outside with the exception of trap to get them, and again, this is all no longer applicable since we're not playing them, but the purpose there was to get them to worry about, hopefully have some good chunks of yardage running outside, and to get them to defend the sweep, adjust their defense so that they were maybe bringing more pressure off the edges when we played them, and in a situation where we extended their front to give us bubbles to run inside. By alignment, if they had come out in the 5-3 double eagle, which they gave us in the scrimmage, it gave us two of our core plays. It gave us power, which is our core play. It's the hub of this offense. So based on that alignment, we would have been able to do some things with our front and adjusting our wing to where we could get 2 double teams and fullback lead, or we could block it traditionally, kick the end out with the fullback, and have the tight end and tackle collapse down, get a double on the 3 technique, and then tackle to linebacker. And so the power would have been really good if they had stayed in that defense for the game, as well as the fullback belly play, which hits the same hole as our power does. So we were happy to see that. Again, it's a moot point now, but we were happy to see that front, and we were hoping until we found out that the game would be off, that they would stay in that front so that we could run our core plays. And again, it's a chess match. You know, we again set that up in the scrimmage to get them to hopefully bite and align their defense to take away our outside game to where we could come back and hit them inside. When they adjust to that, then we go back outside and basically keep the defense on its toes, which obviously is, as a coach and defensive coordinators are the same way. That's how you approach the game. You want to get the other team always a step or two behind you. But I digress. So that was our plan. Now, trap against this defense is typically not a play we would run. You can run it, but there's a couple of examples of it. You'll see that it is not ideal. It's super tight. The purpose, when trap works best, is when you have 3 offensive linemen against 2 defenders at the point of attack, or 4-on-3 with your tackle climbing to a middle linebacker in that scenario. So the double eagle puts 3 down linemen on our 3 down linemen, and then they have a Mike linebacker, middle linebacker, who is hard to reach with our tackle. So at best, we get a 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 situation at the point of attack. And again, with our tight splits and the way they're aligned, it's extremely tight in there. At worst, we get 3-on-4, us 3, them 4 at the point of attack, which is not favorable at all. And, you know, they stuffed us a couple of times, but as you'll see in the clips, we popped a couple on them too. So what I've done is I've selected a few random clips. Picked some good, some bad, some ugly, and we'll go through and kind of break it down and talk about them. And hopefully you'll find this interesting. So let's get the screen up here. And we will. All right. So, and actually this is not where I want to start. My apologies. All right. So these clips will loop, so they'll run through until I forward to the next clip. So the other thing we did is we stayed in 2 sets. This formation you see here, which we call open, this is a formation we probably will not even use this year. Again, this is something we wanted to give them just so they have to plan for it, even though they're not going to see it. The other formation is our base formation, base double wing formation, which is doubles, which these receivers would be replaced with tight ends, and they'd be in there tight with the rest, condensing the box. So we did this setup to stretch the box, again, give them a little something different to look at. Hopefully they would game plan against it, and we'll go from there. And you can see down here, again, well, these guys, knuckleheads, but we have circles set up for the players to stay, you know, socially distanced on the sideline. These are their little buckets here. They have their masks, sanitizer, and their own individual water as well. There's no sharing water. So again, A lot of precautions being taken and overall very sound there. So that was our approach to being cautious during the scrimmage. All right, so this play, first play is doubles 58, which is our sweep play. In this set, this outside receiver is going to come down and crack the first off the line defender, which would be this inside linebacker, unless this linebacker does not come, and he should not be because we had a no blitzing rule in this scrimmage. So you can see their alignment here. Center's covered, but they have defensive tackles here and here, and 3 techniques on our guards. A tight 9 on the outside shoulder, and in this case it's actually a 5 tech because the tight end split, so it's on the outside shoulder of our tackle, and they're just basically going to put a body on a body across the line. I think I talked about him in our other blog, my first vlog actually. This is our freshman, and again, in 32 years I have never ever coached on a staff that had a freshman start on varsity. And part of it is due to the depth. You can see we don't have massive numbers. I think we took 35, 36 kids to the scrimmage. 36 actually is what we took. So, we don't have great depth talent-wise, but this kid, regardless, is good. He probably would not have, he wouldn't have started at the last school I coached at where we, were more of a powerhouse. He would have been able to play with the rest of the freshmen because we wouldn't need him. And that's the purpose of having a freshman or even a sophomore on varsity. You only bring them up if you're going to use them, A couple of the kids down here, these guys are all sophomores. They are going to play on our JV team, but we brought them up for a little depth for the scrimmage and to get a look at them, as there are 3 of the 5 players. We brought up 5 total from the JV team, but they're players that we want to look at and for potentially maybe down in this later in the season, or if we have injury issues, to see if they would be able to help us. But again, going back to this kid, he's going to start for us as a freshman, and he's actually good. He's that good. So especially comparative to the district, the league we play in, and the general talent that we get, he is definitely worthy of this spot. So he's going to be a contributor. He gets the ball here. So the dynamics of this play, buck sweep, it's, again, my previous history before going to double wing, which fits this type of the personnel we have there better. I was a wing T coach for 20 plus years. So this offense is kind of a hybrid, and a lot of the wing T and double wing concepts are very similar or the same, but there's also some differences. So this is a very hybrid wing T, double wing offense. It's kind of, I guess, our own stamp on it. The big difference, our wings are a little looser than in a traditional double wing. The splits up front are the same. It's foot-to-foot tight splits, which is a blitz killer and gives you angles to run power of the core play. The fullback also, we align him with heels at about 3.5. He's actually back a little bit too much. And in traditional double wing or old school double wing, his heels would be at 2, so he'd literally be right on the quarterback's ass. But we do this, and we feel it gives us a better track for trap and belly, which the fullback belly play is not a play that a lot of old school or traditional double wing coaches run a lot of, if any at all. It's actually a big part of our offense, and that comes from, again, from the wing team mentality. So, concept of this play, both guards are going to pull, front side guard's going to kick the forced defender, going to get the crack here. This should pull him up, the guard should kick him, backside guard's going to wrap around, look for inside out pursuit. Fullback goes backside A gap to pick up the defender over the guard that pulls, and then we block down with the tackle and tight end to close these gaps up here. Wingback has gap down, so his job will be to block him. And I believe on this play, this kid kind of bails. He plays real soft, so it kind of screws up how the block would normally look, as normally a defensive end would squeeze when they saw the tight end go down. And then our freshman here is going to carry the ball. So this play is both a good and a bad play. It is a good play in that we gained 15 plus yards. A bad play in that it got called back for holding, and a very unnecessary holding, which I'll show you. So here we go. All right, so lines down, there's the fake. Now front side guard, again, this corner bailed. even with no receiver instead of being a force player. So he's going to stock. Receivers in great position for the crack here. And the crack rules used to be able to come in and just annihilate people leading with your shoulder. That rule has changed. Your hands have to be the first point of contact. And they did that to take away blindside blocks, which are not always healthy. Coaching points, what was done well here. Our quarterback, he's going to be a senior, or he's a senior. Did a good job on the fake. You see he holds the defensive end here. Defensive end is actually chasing him. Every player that's blocked or taken away by a fake is a player not going to make the tackle, obviously. So here's the bad part. Our backside guard, he comes around and you see his hands extended. Now this is unnecessary. If he had retracted his arms and just pushed, this would have been fine because the freshman, and again, pretty solid football IQ for a freshman. He's going to see the cutback lane here and he's going to cut under this block. So it was totally unnecessary. And when your arms are extended in space as an offensive lineman, if you are not in front of that player, you're probably going to get a flag. So there you see in that last niche, and that's actually 20-plus yard run. So that last niche caused or step, I should say, caused the flag to come out. So we'll watch it through again. Great job. We had it blocked well enough. There's some things I do not like backside, but the fake is good. Backside. This guy, I would like him to climb, our left tackle to climb to the safety who made the tackle. But, overall, executed well minus the holding. And we'll just slow it down here. So right there, it's good. And then that last little push got the penalty. So that's our first play. Positive yardage, we could have got that without the penalty. Wasn't necessary. Well, no holding penalty obviously is necessary, but you get the point. So that was a coaching point for film. This is our trap play. So again, you're going to see here what we talk about with the tight alignment up front. Double eagle look, nose guard, 2-3 techs, 5 techs or 9 techs now on the edge since we have our tight ends in. The action in the backfield will look the same as that first play, only this time the fullback is going to get the ball, and he's supposed to take a short stutter step to the left, create an angle to follow the backside guard who creates the trap, and then get right up in there. And again, it's going to be super tight. Quarterback and wingback fake sweep. This wingback, instead of blocking down, is now supposed to climb to second level. So we'll see how that goes. Now our fullbacks are big boys too. This kid here, the starter, he's 262, so he's bigger than both of our guards. The backup fullback down here, he goes about 245, close to 250. So our fullbacks are big. Neither of them are fast. That's not the purpose. Use what you have. If we had a fast big kid, he'd be in there and we'd use him a little bit more as an offensive weapon. These two, they're going to give us short yardage on wedge and belly, and basically besides that, they're just going to be blockers. So, but you can see, and there's plays for both of them on here. He runs really hard. His issue is he does not remember his plays, and you'll see an example of that later, which, it just seems like he sometimes just overthinks things. And this kid does too, but he's a senior. This kid's a junior. He's been able to get out of his head leading up to this scrimmage a little bit better than this one. So they're still really competing. Right now they're kind of 1A and 1B basically. And then we have a smaller fullback who also plays linebacker for us, and he'll get a few reps too, but these two are going to be the main two at that position. They both also play on defense, so they'll be rotating here to get their rest when we have the ball, because they'll both pretty much be on the field all the time on defense. And another drawback when you have low numbers or in a school like we coach at. But there we go. Let's look at it. Full speed. So you can see the faking here is pretty solid. Well, the freshman did not carry out his sweep fake, and I think he got confused. When we run wedge, We do not fake the sweep. The wingbacks fold in and push the line, which is legal, but he should have faked sweep here. Quarterback does an okay job on the fake this time. I do not like his eyes immediately going to the ball. He should still be looking outside to sell the fake and maybe hold the defensive end. But you can see the mosh pit in there. It's hard to follow the fullback. He's going to pop out down here. So pretty good job, and it's a very tight hole. He hit it well. He went and got 9 yards. That was, an exceptional job. We'll run it in slow-mo now. So here comes the backside guard. He hits the trap block on 70 there. Creates just enough of a crease for the fullback to get in. So that was a good play. And, if we talk about keeping good sticks versus bad sticks. Stop. Good sticks versus bad sticks. So to maintain good sticks in this offense, any run-heavy offense, you want to stay ahead of the sticks, even more so than normal. So in this offense, to maintain what I call good sticks, we need to average 4 yards a carry on first down and be in third and 3 or less situations when we are in third down 60% of the time, average 4 yards on first down 90% of the time. I'm sorry, flip that. We want to average 4 yards on first down 60% of the time. I created these metrics and I'm forgetting them. And be in third and 3 or less 90% of the time. That's our goal. And that especially the third down, it's hard to maintain. But if we average our 4 yards on first, then we just need 2 yards on second to stay on schedule in terms of how we like to play the sticks. So when you get 9 yards like that on a trap with a fullback who's not very speedy, just a big load, then that's a win. So 68 Rocket. This is going to be the ugly. This kid right here. This is our starting center. He's a junior. He's 6'3", actually. 6'3", about 275. He got forced into action late last season as a sophomore due to us losing our starting center, and played well. And he's come out really good in fall camp, become a leader on the offensive line, doing a good job. Fortunately, 3 days before the scrimmage, he sustained a concussion, and so we have a sophomore in now who's very raw. Needs a lot more seasoning, and honestly, if we had to play next week, we would start cross training one of the backup tackles who is a junior to take the center job until he comes back. He should only miss one game, so again, maybe not. Well, if we don't get a game this week, it'll be a blessing for him because he'll be able to come back and we won't miss having him for a game, which is huge. But there's definitely a big drop off. We have the one kid that will probably play center if we do have a game next week. He backs up both guard positions, and then we have a primary tackle backup. Apart from that, not a lot of depth on the offensive line, so we need to keep him healthy. Sophomore is going to be good. He's just very raw. He needs to get in better shape. He's got great feet. He needs to drop a little weight, though, and the game needs to slow down for him, and you'll see examples of that. But anyway, I say that because the center did not get the ball all the way up, created a fumble. Quarterback never had it, so as he went to do the pitch, the ball slipped out of his hands, and luckily he was able to make something positive of it. So 68 Rocket, that is another outside play. This is our stretch sweep, and he's going to start in motion like we do on power, buck sweep, everything else, and then sprint. The toss is going to lead him out here. The only person we're blocking up front, tight end, is going to try and get here and pin the edge. Tackle and guard both leave their guys alone, and they're going to pull. Wingback is going to climb to furthest outside defender, force defender, and then again tackle and guard, pull, and look inside out to pick up a block, create seams. So for this play to be successful, also the fullback leads, quarterback leads, so we have a convoy out in front of this if the timing's right. So for this play to be successful, the key thing is the relationship of where the pitch is received. You're leaving interior guys unblocked. So if he gets a pitch here, they're going to be able to run through and possibly string him out. So we want the pitch to come past the fullback, so he's in full speed and obviously faster than interior defensive linemen, so that them being unblocked is not an issue to the play. So let's see how that goes. Well, we're not going to see how it goes because we fumbled. So when he got to his motion, his skip motion, we wanted him to sprint. So he's kind of delayed right there. And you'll see. So right here, sprint, and he kind of hesitates in taking off. Blocking paths are good. Tight end here is going to get the edge defender sealed. Wing back going to next level, furthest man outside. And there goes the ball because the snap was horrible. Now the good thing is this kid is reacting to full flow, and he's going to come underneath the fumble, doesn't even see it. Our quarterback, again a senior, is sharp. He's going to pick it up and go get the first down. Very heads-up play here, and they were selling out. You can see some of these kids. But look at this convoy down here if we had hit that. My goodness. So, moot point, but we turned it into a first down, kept the drive going, so it was all good. So let's just go watch it full speed. There's a mistake. Backside guard pulls out two. Got a good convoy here. Quarterback makes a good play and turns ugly into good. All right. So 58, this is our first touchdown. This again is going to be the freshman. Does a real good job here. We're close. We're on the 8-yard line, 7-8 yard line. So we're going to do a good job getting the edge sealed. Guards are going to get out in front. Front side guard's going to kick this forced defender here. And the freshman's going to make a good job. He's going to punch it, get underneath the front side guard's block, get into the end zone for his first career high school touchdown, even though it's a scrimmage. So here we go, and there's the handoff. Good job by the kick there. Backside guard could have been a little bit quicker, but ultimately, freshman read the block well. He's going to see it here, punch it up, and the backside guard should have been on the kid making the tackle. He's got to narrow his pull depth a little bit. You'll see here, he's coming a little bit wide. Right now, he should start to be on his bicycle, lean in, get downhill more, and be looking for the defender coming off the block here. It's a pretty good job by the wing. Unfortunately, they weren't giving us a good look on the edge. He should be squeezing down, and he's kind of bailed, which I don't know why. And the linebacker coming over the top is the one that got there that we needed to get with the backside guard. So we'll watch it again. There we go. Good job by the freshman. That would have been a 10-yard run, a touchdown, 8-yard touchdown run. So positive play there. That is, again, some of the good. All right. So you remember 44 I showed you here. He's in now. So I'll break this down. Watch him. Now this is our backup quarterback. He's a sophomore too, and until not even 2 weeks ago, barely 2 weeks, not quite 2 weeks ago, he was a running back. Our backup, our designated or preferred backup quarterback, also a sophomore, but a kid who started as quarterback on the freshman team. Had a good season, very heady kid, good football IQ. His parents, ironically, pulled him for fear of COVID. He'd practiced with us a couple of weeks, and then they decided they just didn't want to take the risk. And I get that. Each family has their own situation, and we would always support that decision. Kind of put us in a bind, but again, it's about the kids, it's about the family, especially in our community where we coach. It's an economically disadvantaged community. Great kids, great families, but there's also a lot of pitfalls to poverty. Not in some cases very ideal living conditions, crime. There's a heavy gang presence in that area, and I think I mentioned in the other vlog. We had a shooting literally 100 yards from our practice, last year before the first game. We've had issues at that same apartment complex this year already. Friday, last Friday as we were leaving practice, coach was getting ready to go home. Probably a block or so away, there was just a series of gunshots as we were leaving to go to the parking lot. And you don't even react to it down there anymore because it's just, that's how it is there. It is what it is. So, but again, I digress. Point is, sophomore QB is still very much learning the position. And you'll see he's got a couple of uglies coming up here. Junior fullback is talking to him. This is a trap play. It's supposed to be 51 trap, which hits on the left side of the center. And we fake the 59 or the away field sweep here with our wingback. And the quarterback should boot out this way on his fake. So it's just the opposite of the first sweep you saw. They're talking. Fullback is probably saying, which side do I go to? Quarterback isn't quite sure, so they make up their own rule. Both of them opened the wrong way and went to the wrong side. Somehow it worked, though. So that's a situation where you get an attaboy, then you get your ass ripped for not executing the play correctly. So we'll show you that. Quarterbacks should open with his right foot. Quarterback should jab step right, come back left, and it's just the opposite. So they're plotting this amongst themselves. But the nice thing about this, 44 runs really hard. See, they go wrong side, but he's a load. He's not fast, but, he's going to punish people like that. You see that. He's, again, close to 250. Kids do not want to take that on if they're playing in the secondary. And this is a smaller group of kids. These are some of their backups, too, so some sophomores and juniors just like we have. And they're not too crazy about taking that on. What I'd like to see with him is get his center of gravity lower, especially in contact situations or as he initiates contact. The other thing, I don't like how he's carrying the ball. We want the ball here, not so much movement. He's rocking the baby. We want it here, and then in contact, lock down, get your shoulders down. He's raw at this position. He did not play fullback last year. He was a defensive lineman last year on varsity. He helped us as a sophomore there. And this year he's playing linebacker and fullback. So, overall an ugly play that was good, but there was still a lot to coach on that play. So next, this will be, again, this is our strong side or even side sweep, 58 sweep. And same rules. You saw the first touchdown we scored on. We're going to get in here too. It's our backup, one of our backup wingbacks. He's actually a senior, but he's a small kid, not very fast. He goes about 145 pounds, but he has the best football IQ on our team. And if his football IQ, here's a freshman, he's pretty good, but if his football IQ was in some of our other bodies, like here's our starting fullback, this kid would be a monster. And he's a good football player as it is, but if we could put that IQ in some of our better athletes, we'd be on to something. But he sometimes being smart, you make up for some of the physical deficiencies, and you'll see this. Again, this sweep, the 58 buck sweep, it's wing T staple. It's not designed to get out here to the sideline. It's designed to create a lane, and then it's a cutback sweep. And you'll see what he does very nicely here is he runs it like it's supposed to. So here, again, that edge kind of bailed the wing back. We'd like him to go inside and let him float because the guards can pick him up. So we don't necessarily want this, which we corrected in film, but he's on the block and he's taking a player out. So he's going to make his read here. Guard's coming to the number 4, the force defender outside. Backside guard, you see his head position. He's looking inside for the pursuit, and it's going to open up this nice little lane, and he does a great job not trying to get wide, but reading his blocks and cutting back inside for the touchdown. So right there, excellent job. And again, that's football IQ. So we'll go in slow. Backside guard got caught up a little bit pulling, but his eyes are good. Goes for the linebacker and cut back for 6. So good play there, and a good push overall up front. A lot of their linemen did not find the ball, which is always a positive. All right, so 69 Rocket. This is that same group, and this was actually the two players. We have two players at right wing competing for the job until our stud transfer, who has to sit the first two games. That's him right there. He's good. We'll see him in our third series of plays. He is legit. He's our best running back. Unfortunately, because he transferred from another school, we do not get to use him for the first two games. So, is what it is, but we're excited just to have him for the last four, so we'll look forward to that. So anyway, in the meantime, this player, and he's not in the screen, number 2, who was in on that last player competing for the starting job in his absence. So this is rocket toss. That's that wide toss to the other side. This is the stretch sweep where he'll block furthest man outside. Tight end pins the edge. He did a great job of that here. And then tackle, guard, pull, and work upfield looking inside out. The problem on this play is the sophomore opens the wrong way again. And then he compounds that mistake by making an ill-advised pitch that somehow does not go awry. But you'll see. I'll just let it play. It speaks for itself. So here we are. Blocking is great up front. He opens the wrong way, hesitates, and throws that lollipop out there. Somehow our wingback makes it back to the line of scrimmage. And you see the result when things do not time up of not blocking these two guys here, because they're in the backfield. And again, so a tackle, guard working downfield, and he's able to cut up and actually gain like 3 yards, 2 yards versus a loss. So big coaching point for the sophomore backup, and that is he was looking for the rocket toss coming the other way. Thankfully he didn't throw it then, and then he gets his bearings. Oh shit, pops it out there. So coaching point here is when you realize the play is broken, do not make a broken play unrepairable. Tuck the ball, go get what you can. So that was his coaching point versus doing this very ill-advised kick where our wingback is against 5 defenders. So that's the ugly. It's not all good, guys. That's why we have these scrimmages. And again, these are great kids, but they're kids that don't have a lot of football experience coming into high school because of economics and just the way things work in that community, the culture. So some of these kids we get as 9th graders, they've never put on pads. Hell, we've had our starting safety last year, came out as a junior, had never watched a game of American football. Never. So his first experience with football was stepping on the field as a junior, and he was such an athlete that we were able to coach him up so that he had was serviceable and actually made some plays. Last year as a senior, unfortunately, he was injured and missed about half the season. He had a couple of injuries, broke his hand, and suffered a minor knee injury, so he didn't have the senior year he would have hoped for. But that's just an example again of kids that we get. Had another kid last year who had to leave, probably the best athlete on the team. We had him at the end. His junior year didn't speak a word of English. Last year he had learned enough that we could somewhat communicate with him, but we still had to have one of our coaches that speaks Spanish relay the more detailed stuff to him. And again, with this community, it's these families, they go through a lot. They have a lot to overcome. He had to quit midway through the season to work to help bring money in for his family, put food on the table. It's just a sad reality of life there. We try and support these kids as best we can, but those things are unavoidable. We've got several kids that miss a practice here and there on this year's team because they have to have jobs. It's sad, but at the same time, these are kids that when they get this work ethic and go through this school, working literally almost a full-time job and playing football, these are kids that if they just stay the course and stay on track, they're going to do good things in the world because they have mental discipline and mental toughness that kids that come from other areas that maybe don't have any adversity in their life do not have. So it will bode them well if they can manage to stay out of the pitfalls of the area. So this is a bootleg play. It's 208 Badger. We fake backside sweep here. Tight end's got a smash route, which is outside release to 7, and then you angle to the sidelines. Fullback comes through, fakes, and then has a 5-yard out. And this is the third fullback. He's going to get caught up in the mosh pit here and not get into his route. So he takes himself out of the play. Backside tight end has a drag, 8 to 10 and a cross. Backside wing's got a post. It's a decoy route. We run the post to hold the safety so he doesn't rotate over on the smash. We will sometimes call this, we never throw this route. It's not one of the reads. The reads are primary, which is smash, to flat, to drag. And that's all based on what is happening in the flat area. This is his read, and it's based on the defender who starts here. What does he do? Does he vacate? Does he press the short route? That's going to tell the quarterback where to throw the ball. So on this play, and again, our senior quarterback might not have done this last year, might have panicked a little bit, but he gets forced back. We don't get the end sealed the way we want to with the front side guard. He gets forced back a little bit, and then he correctly checks down to the flat route because they bail and they've got the tight end not covered real well, but they're in fairly good position. So he checks down to look for the fullback, doesn't see him, but he's decisive here. He puts his pulls the ball down, and he makes the decision quick, which I like, and he goes and gets 9 yards. So let's watch it. So 208 bootleg. This is Badger bootleg pass. There's a fake, a good fake by the wing, and you can see here, right here. So this would be where the fullback should be leaking out. He's caught up in this traffic here. Our tight end he's a big kid. He's about 275, not very fast, got great hands, but we have him there more as a blocker to crush the edge for us. He will catch, but he's not going to run by people. And here he's got position to where if this was a faster tight end, we would probably press him to throw this because he'd be able to get behind the defense. But this kid's going to be able to make up ground. Again, does a great job here, and we'll go back. Our front side guard. So right here, his aim point is the outside shoulder of the end. We want him to attack the outside shoulder, pivot his hips, and try and seal him. In this scenario where the end is upfield quick, he tries to lock him up. Instead, he should just basically ride him upfield, take him where he wants to go. Quarterback would react and get underneath it, but they kind of dance around, and it disrupts the timing. Quarterback's got to get a little bit deeper, not much deeper than normal, but a little bit, and then he's going to look up, see that his routes have not developed, and he makes a very decisive move to tuck and run. So there you see, gets around, good job there. He sees the opening, splits the defenders, gets 9 yards. So solid job by the quarterback, and again, that's what we want. That's what we want a senior to do. I mean, be smart, play within the system, but make good decisions, and take what the defense gives you, basically. So again, here you'll see he maybe could have thrown that, but I think this kid's in a position to react. And ultimately, we tell them, if you have grass in front of you, you can't throw an incomplete pass or throw an interception when the ball never leaves your hand, right? So it's a sure thing to just pull it down, get 5-6 yards, and you'll see this backside wing is running open. You'll see him down here with his hand up, right there. Throw me the ball. But that looks really sexy. But I'll tell you why we do not throw that as part of our regular reads. The trajectory of this drop, because it's a rollout pass, he would be throwing, and he's throwing on the run. So he'd be throwing across his body. Rule number 1 in the passing game, you never throw late across the middle of the field, especially a deep ball. So he, in essence, would have been throwing to where the secondary could have recovered. And you can see the secondary is going to come down, but if he had thrown this here, this safety would have had a chance to react. And again, there's no steam on this ball. You're throwing across your body from the far hash all the way to the other hash. If we see something where we think we can hit this in a game, we will tag it. In this case, it would be 208 Trojan, which stands for throwback. And the quarterback would know, instead of completing the boot, he would pull up, get his platform under him, set his feet, and then throw the backside post. So that looks nice, but that's not a feasible play, at least in this particular instance. So this is the ultimate ugly. So there's me. This is our transfer, and you'll see when he runs the ball, he's a hell of an athlete. So he was unsure about this route, so I was giving him last-minute instructions. So basically, Cougar, it's a curl package combination. The wings should run 14 to 12 yards deep. Settle down here, just find a seam. The tight ends have speed outs. So come off the line, chip. At 3 yards, start to bend out, flatten out at 5. And it's a tough route to cover because the chip will allow the wings to get past them. That's going to pull the corners and then open up the flats, the tight end to come underneath. So that's the concept. Now what happens on this play is basically everything goes wrong. Our 70 series, we don't have a three-step pass game. And the reason we don't is because we're such a run-heavy team. You see where teams are in the box. So these are areas where you typically throw the slant, the really quick outs, things like that. We do not have a three-step package because these players start in those throwing lanes by alignment because they're crowding the line of scrimmage to take away our run. So we have a 5-step drop. All our drop back passes are 70 series, which is 5-step. So we want to get intermediate to long routes open and pull these defenders out of here, give them time to develop. So everything goes wrong on this one. And this is our starting quarterback. He screws us up too. He takes a 3-step drop, which again is not, we just don't do that. So he doesn't give the routes time enough to develop. Pass pro up front, it could have been better. And then the curls are not going to be deep enough. They're going to be about 8-7 yards, which is, you get no route separation doing that. And then the tight ends, they had this confused with another play of ours we call Husky, which is a high-low concept where they cross over under. They run that concept. So you're going to see the tight ends here and here cross each other. So the quarterback, 3-step drop, he rushed, he panics a little bit. The routes are not what they're supposed to be, so he ends up pulling it down and scrambling. He gets a first down, but still absolutely nothing to be happy about on this play, and you'll see. So here we go. See the curls by 5 and 22, way too shallow. Our tight ends, they're crossing, and quarterback pulls it down way too quick. So we'll stop it at key points here. So that's 3-step right there. And he's got a little hole here for sure, but the routes will never develop. So the tight ends at this point should have both been running out. I don't even know where the backside tight end is. That's the wing back. So backside tight end, that's him there. He's caught up, so he's slow off the ball. He should have already been into his route pattern. He sees, we have a good pocket interior, but we didn't do a good job getting the end block or the 3 technique blocked here. Left side is good, right side is definitely fine. So he pulls it down and he makes something happen. So here's finally our tight ends. You see they're not where they're supposed to be. Our curl, this curl is going to sit down at about 6 yards. I don't even think he gets that deep. So the whole play is basically screwed up, and we spent a lot of time on this one in film too. But he makes something out of, he makes a minor positive out of a terrible situation and gets, 3 yards in the first down. But yeah, not much happiness to be found in this play for the coach. So that's another one of the uglies. All right, so here's our boot pass to the left side now, 209 Badger. And so we'll be faking sweep with our transfer here. front side. He's going to have, normally would be a backside post. And again, we usually would not run this play in this area of the field or on the 6-yard line. Normally this is a running situation or running scenario for us. But like I said, we scripted plays and we didn't want to go off script, so we stayed true to script here. And it still turns into a good play. Now the quarterback, what he does well this time is does a good job extending the play and allowing the route to uncover. And this is the primary receiver here, backside tight end. He's got a smash, and in this close proximity to the end zone, he's going to flatten it out a little bit and make it more of a deep out pattern. So we'll run it through, and what helps us is their corner's not aligned. So he immediately loses the tight end route right there. You see he has a step, and this tight end is a little more athletic than our other one. He's smaller. He's a dog, man. He fights, but he's got a little bit more speed. So we get the edge sealed really well here. So this front side guard right here, his job is to pull and seal the outside edge here for pressure where the tight end's man is. So he does a great job. And here's what I was talking about on that other play where our quarterback ran it. You see he gets to the outside shoulder. Now look at his hips. He's pivoted his hips, so he's got a seal here. Now what they do, though, is they're going to bring pressure from deep. So they're bringing a linebacker and a down safety here on basically attacking the quarterback, which takes two guys out of coverage, and that's fine. Quarterback does a good job. You see here the route is opening back here. Our backside tight end should be running a drag. That's wrong too. You know, it's scrimmage. There's stuff to fix on every play, and you know, I like plays to be perfect, but the reality is that you take this film, you improve the most between your first and second game. So the scrimmage technically counts as first game, and you get a little bit more in sync for your true opener, which is always the hope. So quarterback does a great job, extends, just gets his shoulder squared, flips a little dart into the tight end, who runs a really good route across the back of the end zone. Great job there by that guard, though. And he stays in the neutral zone, does not go downfield, which would have been a penalty. So really solid. I can't say enough about that job by the guard there. So good ball by the QB. Got a little bit of mini Patrick Mahomes in him here, the way he kind of slings his sidearm from an awkward position. So good play there, touchdown, executed like we want. Okay, this is an example of a good play. This was a good play. It's a 15-yard play, and every coach would take that. But I actually harped on this in film for about 2-3 minutes yesterday because it was a good play. It could have been a great play, and I'll show you why. So everything is set up great here. So this is our sweep to the left, and it's got, again, that's our high IQ football player. He switched over to the other wing. Our transfers over there. We got the third fullback in. All right. So point of attack, again, we want this wing back. The way they were playing, they didn't come hard off the edge. He should have been looking inside. Now, here's our big tight end and our backside tackle. Their rule on this play is to basically work levels and look for blockers or defenders to pick up downfield. So his eyes, and he's looking back. He should be looking right here to go to middle third to get the safety. Front side tackle should be looking for, or backside tackle should be looking for the same. Now what's going to happen, these defenders will react and come over the top in pursuit. So he'll lose his target. He's going to cross his face, and we tell blockers never, or linemen never to chase a block. It's kind of what he's starting to do here. You see this was his first assignment. It's backside linebacker. He gets across his face, so he should then get his eyes upfield and look for the next defender coming from inside out. So the way this is going to end up is this defender here would become his man, and this defender here would become his man. If they had hit these blocks, and our tight end right here is doing a hell of a job right now staying on the block. If he had stayed on the block to the whistle, this would have gone for a touchdown, because the two guys here that are not blocked that should have been, and the one guy here that gets off his block are the ones that make the play. And again, 15 yards downfield, but I would prefer a 40-yard touchdown, and there's no excuse not to have it. Backside guard's a little deep here. He needs to be a little tighter to the line of scrimmage. He's going to pull up and then look for first inside-out defender. Quarterback, again, he holds the defender here, so he's doing his job and actually has this one kind of chasing him. I wish we would have gotten that a little bit better, but it is what it is. So you'll see what I mean. So right here, he kind of lets up. He lined up. He's running to grass, and we never, there's no purpose in running to a patch of grass where no defender is. So he should be looking back inside. He should be looking back here. And here's a tight end. He's doing a good job on this block, but he's going to come off it, and you'll see. So tight end lets up. He gets off the block. So now he's starting to look back at the play. I think he sees him, but he still keeps going. So right now, his eyes should remain upfield, and that's the thing. We watch film. You can spectate watching film. The kids have this program. They can watch it at home. Their parents can record it up in the stands, and if they really want to watch that much, they can sit in the stands. So we need players' eyes on their rule, not on the play. So he takes his eyes off the play. That's a big coaching point there. He is not adjusting his path. He did do a good job coming off this block to climb levels, but then he just doesn't pick anyone up. So right now, he could turn back in, pick him up. He's like, hey, buddy, slow down. If you face him, that's a block. And again, our tight end is kind of letting up on his block, so watch who makes a tackle. 1. That's the defensive back he didn't pick up. 2, that's the linebacker that got off the tight end's block. And then this kid, the safety, or the corner, he's going to come in and finish it off. So the 3 guys that weren't blocked made the tackle. He might have been yacked by this kid here, but ultimately this 15-yard gain should have scored and would have at least gotten inside the 10. So that's an example of a good play that could have been a great play. We'll just watch it all the way through now. So look at those points. Great job at the point of attack. A little bit of backside penetration. And then again, we're down here spectating. No, finish the play. Finish the play. This should have definitely been a score. So, that's the other thing about coaching too. You can't accept something that's not correct just because it had a positive result. There's a commercial years back that's always stuck in my mind when I was a young coach, and it shows a coach go into a locker room at halftime, and he's just ripping his team, ripping them. Every little thing that's going wrong, he is ripping them. And one of the players looks up at him and goes, "Coach, we're up 28-0." And the coach says, "That's what I mean." And by that, it's like you never accept a good result over things that could be better. So that was the whole purpose of showing that play up here. Now this is a ugly play that should have gotten called back because we're going to be past the line of scrimmage. He missed it. It was a great throw. He did a great job extending the play. But what happens here is he doesn't have his correct depth on the rollout, which forces him, as he's waiting for the route to develop, it forces him to press the line of scrimmage, and he's actually almost a full yard past it when he throws the ball. They credited it as a touchdown. They missed it, but we're not going to get that lucky 95% of the time it's going to be called. So again, this was an example of a great result that you don't accept because the execution was flawed. So this is the bootleg pass. It's a switch pattern this time. Instead of the tight end running the smash, the wingback's going to run it, which means the tight end's solid. He's in pass pro. and there's no fake on the sweep. The only fake here is going to be to the fullback, who then leaks out to the flat. But otherwise, the route's backside are the same as our other bootleg passes. So there you go. Now here, at this point after the fake, the quarterback does not gain depth. So he fakes to the fullback, and then this would have been where the sweep fake would have been. So at this point, he's got to bubble and lose about 3 yards to get his body in a trajectory to get downhill when he's set to throw, which allows him to square his shoulders up. All right. He does a good job waiting for the route to develop, and he throws. The ball is beautiful. I mean, it's a 30-yard dime, but right there, as he's getting ready to uncork it, he is past the line of scrimmage. He could have actually hit it a little bit sooner. If you watch. Now right here, if he would have thrown it, he would have been okay. So a little bit hesitant on the release. Let the ball go. He's fast. Again, that's the transfer kid that's got to sit 2 games. But he's got wheels, and he's already behind the defender who is looking at the quarterback. So put it out here in space, let him run to it. But he holds it, throws a great ball still, drops it in there, nice, right behind 2 defenders, and we get credit for the touchdown. But again, if the officials would have been paying attention, it's coming back. This is a kid here I actually coached at Westview. He joined our staff this year. Actually, there's three coaches on this staff I coached. The head coach you met in the first vlog, his brother, who's the offensive line coach I coached. I coached this kid at this school 2 years ago, and this kid at Westview. But he likes to celebrate, watch him have fun. He's a young coach. I like the enthusiasm of young coaches. Yeah, that's right. So again, a good finish to a play that just was not executed the way we like it to be. You can't get perfection, but you practice it, and the more you practice it, the closer you're going to get, and that's what makes the difference in close games. All right. This is the last play. I wanted to at least highlight the transfer once. He is an excellent runner. So we're going to do a good job. This is sweep. This defender is going to bail a little bit again. Front side guard is going to do a good job getting on his man. And you'll watch how he sets the block up. Puts his hand on the lower back of the front side guard, kind of directs him. And what I really like, and you'll watch the guard, he'll go through. He'll be running downfield. The wing back will come off the guard's block. The guard doesn't devastate anybody, but he knocks one defender off his path, keeps hustling, knocks a second defender off, and I don't think that second one would have got to him anyway. He wouldn't have. But again, it's what you want. The guard ran all the way to the end zone with the wing back, and that's great hustle. So we'll show you here. All right, so here we go. Backside fake. Okay, the front side guard runs upfield. Didn't probably have to do that, but there you see. We'll let it just loop through here. So front side guard, he did a good job adjusting to this pressure, but ran a little bit too upfield with it. And as a backside guard, I misspoke. Backside guard, watch here. Shot, knocks him off his path, gets a lick on the second one, and he wouldn't have got there. But that is an outstanding hustle. And again, he does a great job. He's decisive. He reads the lane, cuts back into it, and then he just goes. So there he goes, sets it up, and now he's going to take off and score. He's going to be really good for us when we get him able to play. He's fast. He's not blazing, but he's got excellent vision. And you see there he kind of hesitates, cuts under the front side guard, and then he's going to accelerate once he sees daylight. But he's got a lot of shake too. He'll make people miss a lot, and he runs hard. I don't have any other clips of him, but he had a couple other runs, and he's tough to bring down too, even though he's a little guy. And he's a junior, so he'll be back next year too. So he'll still have a full, hopefully, regular season. So that is it. We're back to the beginning. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of go through and I guess do a little bit of film breakdown from our scrimmage this past Thursday. And again, hopefully it's interesting to see a little bit of insight as to what we call, why we're doing different things, what the rules are, what we look for as coaches when we break down film. So hopefully that was enjoyable. We will get out of this. And all right. So yeah, I'll do this throughout the season. I'll do this with games too, if it's something that you like to see. And also too, feel free to post questions. I just downloaded OBS. I hadn't been running that. I've got to wait for my validation key, but I'll do at least a couple of these live so we can get an audience in here and do some interaction that way. So about an hour in. Hope again that it's been enjoyable, and we'll be doing some more in the future. Glory Days Boxing Bantamweight set is available for ordering on sidelinestrategy.com. And for the people who have already ordered, your orders will ship Monday. That's what I'm going to be spending the weekend doing, getting those orders together. Also, myself and Mrs. Bleacher Bums Candy celebrating our anniversary, which was yesterday. But I had football, so we're celebrating it tonight with a nice dinner at a very romantic place. And then Sunday we'll be getting orders out. So thanks everyone for tuning in, supporting the channel and the game. And until next time, keep rolling for the knockout, rolling for the fences. Whatever game you play, just keep rolling. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we'll see you. I hope you all have a great weekend.